Friends, today is Wednesday, March 19, 2025, and we're looking at self-control, particularly in relationship to our desires and our appetites. And we have, again, another interesting verse. This is from Ezekiel 16:49 today. We're bouncing around a little bit this week. We will get to the Gospels on Thursday and Friday, but Ezekiel 16:49 is our text. This was the guilt. This is Ezekiel speaking critically. This was the guilt of your sister Sodom. She and her daughters had pride, excessive food, and prosperous ease, but did not aid the poor and the needy. So Ezekiel is speaking to the Israelites, and he's saying, remember that there were dark sides to the excess of Sodom. And we think of those as moral excesses when we look back, breaking God's moral rules. But some of the excesses were excesses of good things. And as we mentioned earlier in the week, virtues taken too far become vices. Enjoyable gifts from God that are overindulged in become negative. And we become obsessive and compulsive about them. They hurt our health and so on. And there's another downside to this, which is mentioned. This was the guilt of your sister Sodom. They had pride, so they were proud about they had excess of food and a kind of prosperous ease. So they were living in what we would call now a sybaritic bubble, a bubble of comfort. And one of the downsides of that is that it shuts our eyes to the need around us. They did not aid the poor and the needy. So one of the most exciting things in the Christian life is that we are to open our eyes to the needs of the world, the things that break God's heart. And when we engage with those things generously in terms of our activities and our resources, both as individuals and as church communities, we get to be part of the restoration of the world. We get the joy of seeing God at work, restoring, helping, blessing, healing in the world. And so it's tremendous. The other side of that is we live in the sybaritic comfort bubble, then we focus all our energies on ourselves, and overindulgence really becomes just self-indulgence. And Ezekiel's sharp prophetic eyes saw this other side of gluttony. I remember seeing this in Malawi, where I was out in a very, very rural setting. There were really no roads to get there. There was no electricity. These were poor huts that were made of little homemade bricks of mud. There was a lot of dirt that was available, and they would make these little bricks in it, kind of a partially constructed hut. And there was a village of 600 or 700 people, and we were visiting one particular family, and there was a little girl of about 9 who had 3 younger siblings, and 2 of them were there that day. And we had brought little gifts for them, and we were helping this whole area with development, but we brought special gifts. And I pulled out of my backpack a little bar of chocolate, and to give her as a special treat. And her eyes lit up, and she thanked me. And I said, well, you can try it if you want. She said, well, not yet. And she said, I just a minute. And she ran into the hut. She brought out her younger siblings, and she immediately broke it up and shared it with them. Radical generosity was more evident in a culture of scarcity than sometimes it is in a culture of abundance. Let's take a moment and pray. Gracious God, help us to be mindful of the needs of others. May I use every opportunity to bless and to share. We ask it in your Son's name. Amen.